entrepreneurs on how to launch, automate, and scale that Airbnb business. We're giving you the strategies, the money moves, and the mindset shifts that will separate those from the dreams from those who are executing on those dreams. Here, we celebrate the wins, both big and small. Here, we talk to real entrepreneurs, the one that took action and changed their lives. Here, we're giving you the blueprint so that you can stop watching and start building. So, if you're ready to tap into your God-given ability to turn knowledge into passive income, to create a system that works for you instead of you working for it. Hey, welcome home. This is where transformation begins. This is where faith meets execution. This is where you level up your Airbnb game. This is Airbnb Pro Tips. Get started momentarily. Start my AI note catcher, and we will get going here. All right. The note catcher is on. Okay. So couple things I do on these calls is I always have in my brain a teaching item that I might get to, I might not. And today I want to talk, maybe if we get to it, I want to talk about the pitch deck, because that's what we're all kind of gearing up for. So we can get, in order to get our first deal, we got to do a couple landlord pitches. So I may just go through my pitch deck so everybody has a comfort level with it. But that's where we want to go. I believe we're going to have a live landlord call. That's my goal. I got a couple numbers. And then I want to just talk about some wins that you guys are having. And if we have time, and if you guys want to come off of mute, we can maybe talk about any questions that you guys are having relative to the marketplace. So right now, Luke, you have my undivided attention. I see a bunch of people logging in, but you get first gifts, brother.
Hey, no,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. No, I'm kind of, so let's start with you. That's when I really kind of started hitting the ground prospecting. Like we spoke about earlier, I didn't really have a plan in mind. I just kind of went in and, you know, places that I saw that looked nice in those areas that you're saying that are kind of slow months right now. And, I just kind of tackled those and I actually started getting some responses from people. Granted, there were a lot of no's and not interested, but I took the first step, so I was pretty proud of that. And just reaching out for me is a scary thing because I'm not a person that likes to go and reach out to people like that.
Yeah.
So I was a little weary just because I wasn't quite sure how to pitch it. Because in my mindset, I know like the midterm rental thing is a good spot.
Mhm.
But where I see the most money is definitely in the short-term rental and filling the slow season or with the midterm. So I'm just trying to figure out how to go about like a good pitch for going straight into short term versus trying to offer the midterm and then sneak in the short term.
So, a lot of times I'm kind of the way I have found the most success. And actually, I feel like I'm going to write down that question because you're not the only one person. You're not the only person who has that. So, how do you transition? The question is, how do you transition from the midterm to the short term? That's the question. All
Yeah.
right. I'm going to capture that right quick. And why is my little black book not with me? Hang on. Where's my black book? There it is. Oh, That's not mine. That's my wife's. Okay, I'll just grab a sheet of paper. That'll do it. I pride myself on being organized, and here we are. Huh? I got something. Yep. How to transition from from the midterm to the short term. Big time. Okay. Easy, 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 easy. All right. Um, so I'm going to kind of talk about what I found was a win for this week. And this was like actually a huge win. So I have a partner he and I have a landlord in Cibolo, Texas. Cibolo, Texas. And this was one of his first deals. And he didn't look at the numbers right. We get in there and it's all midterm. Like there's no opportunity to do short term at all. So the clear path is all right. Well, I know I can't put it on the Airbnb sites for anything less than 29 days. So you do that. Then you put it on a bunch of these other websites. One of the bigger websites is AL. What's the last name? It's a medical website. And then the other pretty big website is Furnish Finders. So week one, nothing. Week two, nothing. Week three, nothing. It took us 4 weeks, and I wish I was making this up. It took us 4 weeks to get traction, and so we have an insurance company in there for the next 35 days.
Nice.
So I just did. So when you do midterm stays, a lot of times they're not going to come to you using the. Sometimes they do. I take that back, but in this particular case, they didn't come to us using Airbnb or VRBO. In fact, they came to us using Furnish Finders. So what we do is we take them off platform, make them sign a lease, and do a security deposit. So almost like a traditional renter.
Yeah.
So that's our win. It took us 3 weeks
Nice.
to get traction, but we finally got it. All right, so hard heavy, but we got it done. We got it done. All right. All right. Any other want to share wins for the week? Doesn't necessarily have to be business. It could be family, it could be faith, it could be your personal fitness. Any wins for the week?
I mean, honestly, man, the fact that I'm just still going and still trucking through with trying to pursue this dream of mine for my family, it's every day that I keep putting effort into it. There's been a lot of time since I started because I started this back in August.
Oh
There's
wow.
there's been a lot of times that I've kind of let it go and just not thought about it. And then I'm like, I need to start it up again. And I get excited because I jump on calls and I hear everybody else's success. And I'm like, I can do this. And then I go through those valleys where I'm like, no, this is above me. I can't do this. And then meet people like you where just kind of give me that little bit of encouragement. And then I start reaching out and then I get a little bit of success and I get hungry for more. And, then I even have my son who's 3 years old, like, Daddy gonna go work hard on the computer today? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm gonna do.
that's right. Yeah, get ready to grind, young man. That's right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. You don't have to come off the mute, but if you'd like this to share what your wins for the week, have at it. Otherwise, I'm going to. So I like to find something in the world of short-term rentals that's kind of either funny or a little controversial. Didn't find anything that was controversial this week, but I did find something that was funny. So I'm going to pivot to that right now. Here we Okay. Bas, 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 bas. ايوه I love you. تعال تعال برا تعال برا شوف شوف بيرفكت ها جو سايد بيرفكت بيرفكت
Not the US. I have no idea what country.
ايوه سيت جلدي شوي بعد يلا I love you. انت خرطاح قسم هو خرطاح انت خرطاح ما في I love you. ما في I hate you.
And that's what you don't do at your Airbnb, by the way. Never ever do that. But I mean, on a real story, I think me and my wife, our first year in the business, our greatest fear was that we were going to have a party, and that we'd be shut down immediately. And luckily, that didn't happen. But we had a few very close calls, and at a later point, I'll probably share some of those crazy moments with you. All right, but here's what I want to do. I want to pivot here. All right, so one of the market questions that Luke brought up is how do you pivot, which is a great question, from the midterm to the short-term conversation. All right. And there's a lot of ineffective ways to do it. I would say the way that comes most naturally for me is by speaking. Well, let me, if I could, let me pitch you, Luke. So you're a landlord, and I am going to do what I do in terms of getting you on the line. So just so I don't go freestyle, let me pull up my pitch deck on my phone. Hang on. There it is. And I will be ringing you up in 30 seconds, Luke.
Okay.
Let me just find it. There it is. Da da da. There it is. And I got everything on this phone. All right. So I'm ringing you up. Ring ring. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, may I speak to Luke? This is Earl from Real Relief Properties.
Yeah, this is Luke. How you doing?
Hey, Luke, how are you? Hey,
Doing all right.
yeah. So I've been messaging you back and forth. Is this a good time for you?
Yeah. It's good.
Okay. Well, hey, so Luke, I want to be respectful of your time. I really do appreciate you responding back to my text message. And so, what I wanted to do is just I wanted to clarify. I know you were looking for us to have like a tenant ready to, get vetted and get screened right out of the gate. But really, what it is that my company is doing and who I represent is we are a full uh, managed housing solution for professionals and relocating clients. And what I mean by that is that you will always maintain the ownership and decision making of your said property. But here's what we do. Okay. We handle guest placement, bookings, cleanings, turnovers, maintenance coordination, and of course, the goal is to maximize your potential revenue and minimize how much of the oversight and management that most people who are self-managing are currently experiencing. So Luke, as a point of clarification, right now, are you currently self-managing your property?
Yes, yeah, I am, and I've been looking for long-term tenants to kind of take over for me and
Okay.
kind of manage the property from there.
Okay. Is that something that you like doing, managing, or are you not married to the idea of having another professional group handle that overhead and that those reoccurring responsibilities?
I mean, I'm not really looking to get property management company, but I've never really known of anything else other than just doing long term.
Okay. So one of the things that I did message you, we house shorter term tenants, which means that we can demand a higher premium. I guess I've heard it said this way, and the shorter the stay, the more they'll pay. So, what we're really able to do for a lot of the landlord relationships we have is get them at the at or often 1-2x above their normal um, rental projections with a third of the occupancy.
Hmm.
So instead of you having all the wear and tear on your property, what we're basically doing is, because they're these shorter stay individuals are professional, are typically working 12, 13 hours a day. So when they come home to your property, Luke, they're not living there. They're just trying to recover. So the biggest thing is the wear and tear on your property.
Right.
So again, what we like to do is we like to have these midterm stays, dominate the calendar, and then in between the cycle, what we do is we book in these shorter term guests. Maybe they're in the area for a wedding, as an example, or maybe they're there because their kid is there having a graduation. But in a nutshell, and this is kind of interesting how the transition has occurred. We used to find that most of the midterm requests that we were getting were from our designated lines, our designated platforms. But we're finding, oddly enough, that more and more of our midterm stays, they're finding us right on these short-term rental platforms like VRBO and Booking.com and Airbnb. And oddly enough, we're seeing more traffic come from these platforms than in our traditional channels of distribution. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I guess folks just like to be able to vet you up front. They like to be in these short-term rental platforms. They can see your reviews. They can see the layout of your property, the amenities. They can see where it is in proximity to other things in the neighborhood. So, I mean, that in and of itself is how we really create value. But look, not to put the cart before the horse, but would this be something that you would like to, continue in another conversation, so I can show you some projections, some assumptions, and some hard numbers?
Yeah, it sounds really interesting, and I'm definitely open to hearing a different avenue to make money because obviously I've had my place up for a couple weeks and haven't really had any bites yet. So, I mean, I'd love to get some money coming in because obviously I don't really want to be paying a second mortgage out of my own pocket. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by what you have.
It's 76 days on Zillow. Yeah, you've been really patient.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see about, and pause. So normally what I would do after that point is close them to two times in the calendar and then
Okay.
send them a Zoom link. That's what I normally do.
So
So
you set up like you set up two Zoom calls from there or what?
um how so? Why two? Why two calls? I'm trying to answer your question. Why would we set up two calls?
Um, I guess one to show numbers, and then two would be the conversation going over the contract and everything, right? Or the agreement.
Okay, no, so and very interesting. So on the Zoom that we show the numbers, and this is
Mhm.
gonna actually be a good segue into my pitch deck. On the Zoom that we show the numbers and the assumptions, we also have an opportunity for them to click the contract. So even though we're not talking about the contract in that one conversation, when we get off the call, they'll have access to the contract.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, if it's okay, Marthea, did you want to chime in or did you have a question before I move into the pitch deck?
I was gonna ask you. I have someone that replied to my email, and they sent me a message back. Excuse me. I had
Okay.
just put something in my mouth because I just ran back in the house. I was going out. Um, that wanted me to call them. I was gonna
Okay.
ask you, what would you suggest about this? It's a beach property where it's near the beach. I don't know exactly where it is. It just says Stinson Beach. 2 bedroom, 2 bath for $3,500.
Okay. You're taking me down a rabbit hole I didn't intend to go to, but I'll bite. I'll
Well,
bite.
I said this would be a live one, but I wanted to know, I just want to know how would I handle that because I just got the email back today.
Oh, okay. So, can you put the address for me in
You
the chat? Because
okay? Now I
I
don't
never
go
yeah,
ahead.
I never call back anybody until I know what to expect from the market.
Okay. All I have is the okay. I put what I have. All I have is the around where it is, but it's not the exact address. So I guess I need to text them and ask them what the address is. They gave me a number to text them. So let me do that
Yeah,
because
that'll
I
be fine. Well,
okay.
can you at least tell me what the city and state is so I can look up?
It's in California. Stinson. It's in Stinson Beach, California. And so it's right on the beach, right
Okay,
here near San Francisco. Very ritzy area. And they want $3,500 a month.
okay. Is this okay? Hold on. Oh, actually, I forgot. Wasn't dealing with my normal AI. I got a new AI I'm working with called Perplexity. Okay.
Okay.
Stenson
This Stinson
STI
Pismo Pismo Beach.
is Mo Beach. I know I butchered that. Stenson Pismo Beach.
Hmm.
And this was, let's see how close I am here.
In California. This was
Oh,
what were you gonna say?
yeah, okay. They figured it out. Stinson Beach, Maryland, California, zip 994, is currently restrictive but not fully closed to new short-term rentals. So that's, before
Okay,
we
that's
even
the
get
kind
on
of
the
stuff
phone.
you needed to find out. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Before we even get on the phone and try to maneuver, we want to know, is this going to be completely a conversation about midterm rentals, which we don't want?
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
right. Because of the conversation I told you, it should never take you 3.5 to 4 weeks to get your property booked. But
Right.
when they
Well,
got to
what
be
it does
there,
say on here, it says furnished, and then it says unfurnished, and then it says monthly rental.
okay, a monthly
So it
rental.
says monthly. So
Yeah, I get that. So,
okay.
so this would be a strictly midterm rental opportunity for
Hmm.
you guys for your first deal. That's not what you want to do
Okay.
because it's going to take you so freaking long to get enough traction. So remember, there's three things that have changed with the Airbnb algorithm. The first thing that changed was this: Superhost doesn't matter anymore. Superhost doesn't
Okay.
matter. The second thing that changed with the algorithm is um, um, you used to get you used to get uh, the number of picks that you had wasn't 50 or more. Now it is.
Hmm.
And the third thing that changed the algorithm was guest favorites dominate the first page. You can't get guest favorites if you're only doing midterm rentals
Hmm.
because guest favorites require you to get five 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 five-star ratings and we kind of grease the wheel a little bit because
Hmm.
every time we set up a listing we do this to get your first three reviews right out of the gate positive. I'm going to discount your price at least 30%. So we're literally paying for those reviews. So if I drop the price 30%, I know we're going to get people in the property immediately. They're going to have a great experience. They're going to leave us a positive review. Three down, two more to go. Guest favorite, we live on the first page. If you're not a guest favorite, you're just in a sea of other listings. And
Okay.
people won't find you until you're like go to the third or fourth or fifth page. People are not that diligent. They're gonna maybe look at the first, maybe look at the second page, and then they're gonna make a buying decision. So I said in a roundabout way, that if you bring me a deal and it is a midterm rental, I probably can close it because I've done it in the past. But it's gonna be like sledding uphill. It's gonna
Hmm.
be painful because once you get the deal, now we got to get guests in the deal.
Hmm. Okay.
So
Got you.
this is not a call I would make. I would not
Right.
circle back.
Okay.
Okay,
No
but
problem.
again, before I reply to a landlord opportunity, I'm always doing my research. Always doing my research.
Hmm.
And, and
Okay.
I and I'm going to ask this pretty please for the next 4 weeks that you're working with McCray, only focus on those markets I gave you in that
Okay.
spreadsheet because they're
Okay.
all vetted markets.
Yeah. And you know what? You know where these came from when Sean told us just to go in and start looking and start sending out emails. That's what this was about.
I know, but it drives me nuts because here's the truth of the matter. There's a lot of people who start 10x, but there's very few people who continue after the first 90 plus days because there's so much, you got a finite amount of time, right?
Hmm.
And then when you run out of time and you don't get the results, you kind of feel a little depleted. And there's really no easy way of saying it. but most of the things that are in the program are for you to do after you get your first one or two listings.
Hmm.
You don't need them to get your, and they say as much. They say as much. Just start calling, but if you don't have a focus, if you don't have anything to point at and aim, it's a little overwhelming. That makes
Right.
sense.
That totally, totally. That's why I'm here. I needed some help,
Yeah. All right.
and this makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I was able to answer that question, Luke. Before I pivot and start talking about pitch decks, did any other questions come to you?
No, that seemed like a pretty seamless and effortless transition. It felt very natural
Yeah.
listening to it.
Yeah. So to kind of just divert, the way I go from midterm stays to short-term stays is to simply talk about there's a trend, there's a progression that more and more of these companies aren't finding us on the normal channels from like insurance companies or for like you know companies that would focus on uh, uh I'm having a senior moment right now. In fact, they're finding us on short-term rental platforms. So that's how it comes up. We go from midterm rentals to short-term rentals by telling homeowners that people are finding us on these short-term rental platforms and we're getting these midterm rental opportunities.
Gotcha.
Simple. So I've already planted the seed that if we
Right.
work together, your listing is going to be on a short-term rental platform.
Right.
And hear me when I say this. People, short-term rentals are only sexy if they don't got a manager. Because short-term rentals for most people is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So if you ever like come across a conversation and they say, well, I only want midterm rentals. Read in between the lines. The reason they say I only want midterm rentals is the short-term rentals was too much work for them because they have busy lives and they have other things. And they probably got 5 or 6 other things that they're thinking about outside of, do I have enough toilet paper? Outside, did my cleaner do a good job? They're probably not using price labs. They probably have never heard about hospitable. So they're managing a lot. So the natural indication is to believe I only want midterm rentals if it's not because of the regulation, and we'll know about that on the front end based on what I'm showing you guys, is probably because it was too much for them. Now, now there is a handful of people that love doing it. They are control freaks. They love doing their own management, but they don't have 10 places either. They may have one, they may have two. But anyone who's trying to scale multi properties isn't really trying to do it like that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to move on. I want you guys to kind of get familiar with the pitch deck. This is what we show on the BNB call all the time. All right. This right here. This is not enough to close a person. It's enough just to get information out, but it's not enough to close a person, in my opinion. All right. In my opinion, what you have to do is you have to build some rapport. Okay. So by rapport building, all right, the way my pitch deck looks, I got a picture of their property first and foremost. And actually, it's not the first picture. This is the first picture. Okay. You see a picture of the property. What else do you see up there, Luke, besides the property?
And I see your logo and their address. and that you're a proud member of corporate cost and network.
So in their brain, they're trying to understand where's your relationship and what's corporate CASA? Because that's not obvious, is it?
No.
Okay. But when I say we're part of their network, in their mind, what I'm trying to create is an understanding that I am an independent entrepreneur that is plugging into a larger network. And what I find is it's been really responsive. People have been really receptive. Is when I say things like, "Hey, you know, one of the great things about being a part of a network is when you get a chance to assemble via, a video phone several times a week, and you can hear half a dozen ways of how not to do a thing. It allows you to double down on how to do the thing right."
Yep.
So I don't have to make my own mistakes if I've heard about 12 other people's mistakes. So for the person on the other side, what they're hearing is, okay, this person has experience and I'm not going to be a guinea pig. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the whole purpose of the first slide. All right. All right. Merthia, second slide. What do you think the purpose of this slide is?
Okay, there I am. Okay. Well, you have some, it looks like you have some case studies for the landlord from landlords, right? From different ones.
Yeah.
And it's to show that you have some experience.
There you go. Experience. They don't want to feel like you're guinea pig.
Right.
And another question is, well, do you have any experience in my area? I do have
Right.
tons of experience, but I don't operate out of a area. I run a completely remote hosting system built on process, procedures, AI, and my ability to create a network of people on the ground in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because here again, do they care about the drill or do they care about the hole?
A whole.
They just want the results, right?
Yeah.
That's all. They just want results. Okay. All right. So this is all credibility. Oh, hold on. What am I seeing here? Did the meeting end, Yvonne? The meeting hasn't. No.
They rescheduled it for today, it looks like. You
What
talking about
meeting?
Sean?
Oh, I guess I didn't know about Sean's meeting today.
Because I thought he said he wasn't gonna have it until next week. But then it looks like he decided to see today's contract fulfillment call has been moved to not next week, Thursday. That's Thanksgiving. I know
Yeah,
better than that.
yeah. Well, not well. I have no words for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got no words for
Yeah,
that.
he probably not. He don't. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
that's okay.
So I'm in the Zoom waiting. What are we talking about here? Uh, did you guys have to put in a code to get in the Zoom?
No.
No, I didn't think so. All right, let me just take a minute. And someone else, what do you think the other purpose of this slide might be?
It kind of comps to see what's
Besides
possible.
credibility.
Hmm. Oh, you say besides credibility.
Besides credibility, what's the other purpose of this slide?
They can see potentially what's possible for their own property.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Can
And
you
that
make
you don't just work in one area, you work all over.
yeah, can you make me money? Can you
Right.
make me money? That's the question. Can you make me money? I don't know, Mr.
Hmm.
Landlord, but I've made these people money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so during my pitch, these are clickable. I don't go out of my way to click every one, but I just simply say, this will be sent to you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick one, and all I've done is screenshot owner's statement. Okay. So, so it's tasteful. It's tasteful. Okay. Next slide. What do you think the purpose of this slide might be?
Oh, to show that you have get good guest reviews, 5-star guest reviews. Yeah. Show
Yeah,
that you have good reviews from your guests.
right. We can't help landlords make money if guests have bad experiences.
That's right.
So again, I don't click every link, but I say, hey, at some point after our call, this gets back to Luke's question, how do we combine everything? Please do some due diligence after our call so we can circle back to you. So that they're going to have access to all of this in the pitch. Okay. All right. Interactive. So I put a copy of their map up of their area for their property, and it says attractions that would be of interest to midterm rentals. What do you think the purpose of this slide is?
For them to kind of tell you why people would come to visit that city.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
want them to sell me on their city. Sell me. I'm not selling you on me. I need you to sell you on me. That didn't come out right, but you guys get it, right? So,
Yes.
so I'm gonna actually open up the link, and I'm gonna say, Mr. or Mrs. Landlord. So here's your property. So walk me through what's in the area that would be of interest to a corporate tenant, or to a travel nurse, or to an insurance client, and then I'll let them talk. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's longer. But what am I doing the more they talk?
Selling them.
I'm building rapport.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're getting comfortable with you and
Mm-hmm.
building that trust.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next slide. What do you guys think the purpose of this slide is? Amenities that would be of interest. We just talked about attractions, but now tell me about amenities that would be of interest to a midterm rental.
Why would somebody want to stay at that property? What's
Mm-hmm.
special?
This gives me an opportunity now for them to tell me all of the energy, all of the work, all of the love they put into this property. Yeah, tell me about it. I want to hear. Okay, so what did it look
Mm-hmm.
like before? And I just let them talk. I just let them talk. I try not to interrupt. And then eventually, and normally what I do is I'll click the link of whatever photos I have, and I'll ask them. So just walk me through each area. Okay, so tell me a little bit about this area. Does it look like that now? Okay. How about now? Any updates? Was it like this originally? What did you have to do to get it to this level? And people, especially if this is their first or second property, and it's like a labor of love. Oh my God, all they're gonna do is tell me this story and that story, and that's fine. That's fine. All right. And then once they get through sharing, then it's my opportunity to tell pieces of the story. What do you guys think the purpose of this slide is?
Show how effortless it is for them.
Yeah, that is
Effortless.
hassle free for
Absolutely.
them.
This is how we get your time back.
Mm-hmm.
All of these pieces. I don't remember who I was talking to earlier today. They were saying, well, yeah, it may have been Yvonne. Maybe it was Yvonne. So you'll run into people who will tell you, yeah, I self-manage, and like 2% actually like it. And the 2% that like it are not doing all of this. They're not thinking about revenue management or marketing. They're primarily living in this right here. How can I not lose money? Risk mitigation. I don't want to party, and I don't want anybody to cause
That's your
any damage.
present. Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you're doing a bunch of this risk mitigation and cleaning maintenance, you're not thinking about marketing or revenue management, or if you have crappy guest communication. And unless let's be honest, unless you buy into a program like 10x, and you're learning how to set up these systems. And that's possible. That's possible. 2% at most. Yvonne, does this make sense? If you want to come off from mute, you can. All right. Now, why would I not show this slide if I'm only doing a midterm rental pitch? Why would I get rid of this slide?
Because if you don't get anybody for the first 3-4 weeks, I mean, you're obviously not making money, so you're not going to tell them 0% commission.
All right. Here's the truth, and here's the reality. When we only are allowed to do midterm rentals, we don't have an opportunity to do a performance guarantee because we're only really talking about a margin of between 1.3 and 1.5 of an increase. We're not talking about a 1.5 or a 2x or 3x increase. Because the shorter the stay, the more people will
pay.
More people will pay. Hang out for a quick second, guys. I'm sorry, guys, I had to take that.
No worries.
All right. So am I being crystal clear why we don't even offer this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And when we do offer this, it's you'll understand how I position it. We will reduce our commission until we meet your market rent rate. Market rent rate is very different sometimes to what the landlord is actually saying their mortgage is. You guys tracking?
Yep.
Okay, solid. Okay. Have you guys seen these slides before? Because they came from the brochure.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So hey, when things are working, we don't reinvent nothing. We just keep it moving. So they love this, right? Why do you think this is important to them?
Because they know the property is going to be taken care of.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $1 million property, $500,000 property. They're thinking, I know I'm trying to make money, man, but Lord, I don't want to lose money.
Right.
All right. Why do you think this would be important to them?
So that they can know that that their house won't get destroyed because they
Peace,
have certain house rules and security in place.
peace of mind.
Mm.
Absolutely. Peace of mind. Okay. All right. Now I have a real brief, uh, s- uh, uh, this is not up for very long. I just talk about what each one means, but then I hover over this. Why do you think I hover over this?
As it looks good for you being the property manager because you do all this.
Yeah. When someone says that they self-manage, that really means they're not really thinking about any of the other stuff. They're just literally putting stuff on a listing, on a platform, and just hoping for the best. All right, that's most people. Don't get me wrong. Some people pay for the education, and they actually know what they're doing. They actually know what they're doing. Uh,
Hmm.
but by and large, even third parties they're just marketing. They're not thinking about communication, centers of influence, or revenue management. And that's where we shine the most, guys. And that's why the short term pitch is sexier, man. It's just a sexier pitch. When people know that the revenue is being increased and decreased based on demand. So when the demand is high, you make more. And when the demand is low, we lower the rate so your occupancy goes up. That's like music to the ears. We can't communicate that story as much with just a straight monthly lease. You guys follow me?
Yep.
Hmm.
Oh, all right. I don't spend a ton of time with this, but I do show them it because it just reinforces the other 5 slides.
Right.
All right. Why do you guys think I put this up?
So you can let them know yeah, how much more you'll do versus what they are doing or what they think they can do.
Yeah,
So those questions they don't think about.
yeah.
Hmm.
These are questions they don't normally think about it, but they're super smart people. So I just say, hey, all my super smart people, we probably um, invest the time and do our own taxes. We could do that. But do you want to
But
give
who
up
has the time?
but do you want to give up the time?
Hmm.
But we're plenty smart. So that's what you want to do. We want to acknowledge that they're smart people. These are questions that they could probably figure out over time. But the key word is time. Okay. So this is the what slide are we on? This is the first slide that actually talks about their property. So we're 10 slides in. And the whole thing that we wanted to do was just build credibility. Can you guys understand why I don't just start with the BNB analyzer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it doesn't do any of that. So I'm trying to warm them up. I'm really trying to warm up the oven before I put in the pot roast. Okay. And so what people want to hear is this: is this working for other people? Is it working for other people? So the way we position it, hey landlord, I don't know if this is going to be something that we collaborate on. All right, but here's what I can tell you: there are 3 people within a 10-mile radius. It's working out pretty sweet for them.
Hmm.
And I click the links and I show them their property and the photos. And oh yeah, 3 grand here, 3 grand here, 3 grand, $500 here. Oh, by the way, look, we don't have to do this. but based on the market, this is what you can expect to earn from a traditional, relationship with your landlords, with your tenants. All right. And in a midterm opportunity, and by the way, guys, this pitch that you guys are seeing wasn't even for a short term. This is a midterm. The short term numbers would even be better. Okay. And normally, just so you guys have a table of knowledge of midterm rentals, low season 1.3 is the multiple, high season 1.5 is the multiple. Okay. So that's where these numbers are coming from. Okay. This here is normally not something I do unless the short-term rental piece requires a permit. If it doesn't require a permit, this goes away. If it requires a permit, I at least want to show them it and say, hey, by the way, me and my team, we got so much experience doing it. We'll hold your hand and take you through the process. Okay. All right. And so this is what we're pretty familiar with. This is with Sean and Irie and Travis and Beth. This is what is presented with the BNB analyzer. And I do the same thing. I give them the numbers and I talk about the value add. If we do, if they work with us, here are the numbers, here are the value add. Why do you think this exists? Why is this slide there?
But then for you to show them that you're an actual business, you're the real deal. You're not just some guy just trying to pull a quick one over on them.
Absolutely. These are all the questions that we opted not to focus on during the meeting. But the questions are still there, right?
Mhm.
So we know we haven't answered all the questions in this quick Zoom, but we want to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and we want to say, hey, now at this point, I want to be respectful of your time. I would like you to have the opportunity to do your due diligence. Do you see how we're positioning ourselves?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're not chasing, we're choosing. Okay. We can either collaborate or not. It's totally fine. So we're not attached to any outcome. And when you do that, people kind of value what you bring a lot more than the opposite. Okay. And this is the last slide we leave them with. And then at that point, what I'm going to probably say, hey, I'm going to stop the Zoom. I'm going to stop sharing my slides, but we can continue with any questions you might have. Take another 2 minutes, maybe 5 max. Thank them for their time. Thank you guys for setting it up. Because remember, all you guys are doing is you are making the introduction in the beginning, saying, hey, Earl's my senior partner. You let me talk for 45 minutes, and then I thank them and I thank you for setting it up.
Mhm.
All right, Q&A. Q&A. I'm going to stop presenting, but we're going to continue talking.
Well, all I can say is that it looks very professional, and it will definitely would draw clients to you because you're doing it in a professional way, but you have a lot of knowledge about it, and you've already set that up and shown them that you have knowledge about what you're doing. So to me, it was a excellent presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's part of the goal. I want you guys to trust the process. All right,
Hmm.
because it's already vetted. This is not something new. We just didn't start doing this a week ago. Okay.
How long have you been doing it? I know you, I think, did you tell me?
So my wife brought me to 10X BNB a year ago, January. So
Oh,
this is
wow.
our fifth year.
Oh, okay. So it's your fifth year. I thought you was gonna say just a year. Okay. You got this down quickly. Okay.
Oh no, I tell you, went through 4 years of hard knocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm loving it.
So I had a question, obviously, since I don't have any listings or anything to go off of on my own. When we go and do that, like do a slide for where you had the links with other properties, showing price points, like what you've done for other
Mhm.
properties. Are you pulling those off the corporate Casa website, or are those your personal listings? Or
These are all deals I've done with people in my network
okay,
outside of corporate Casa.
okay.
So if I added corporate Casa, that would even be a longer slide.
Mhm.
But yeah, but that's a good question. All right. All right. We're at the top of the hour. I want to wrap this up. And just simply ask you guys. I don't have a survey for you to fill out at the end of my stuff, like 10x.
Yeah.
But if we could just come off of mute real quick and just share one thing that you took away from our session today, something of value that you took away. Who would like to start?
Man, I'll go first. I mean, the biggest thing that I took away just from listening to you talk and like seeing your presentation is let the presentation pretty much talk for you. Like let the numbers talk for you and don't overthink things and just kind of just speak truth to what's there. And like you said, if they want it, great. If not, cool. Like we'll move on to the next person because again, we're not trying to sell them. Like we chose their property for a reason. If they don't want to opt in for it, then we just move on to the next.
Love it. We choose, but we don't chase. Very good. Who else?
Yeah, like I was saying, how done for me, it has given me, it's given me, not, I mean, I'm not all the way there yet, a lot more. It took off a lot of the anxiety that I've been feeling, with just getting to learn the business because I really was not learning it like it is with you. I'm feeling, and that's when I first started talking to you. I can feel like I could learn from you. And just with this presentation right here, I'm learning. I feel like maybe I could do, not maybe, I could do this one day.
Yay! And you will. I'm gonna hold your hand every step of the way.
Okay.
All right. All right. Babs, what did you take away from the our session today?
This is my first observation session, didn't I say so? I was just learning, so it's my observation session.
That's fine. Was there anything that resonated with you?
Oh, the wonderful presentation. I loved it. And like
Awesome.
Merthia said, I can do this one day. Hopefully
100%.
one day soon.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All
Mm.
right. And Yvonne, we saved the best for last. If you could come
Oh,
up and
thanks, Earl. Yeah, I loved that the one where you said that we're not trying to like sell ourselves to them, but what's the statement? I want to write that down. I like
we
the statement.
choose. We choose. We
Yes, we
don't
choose.
chase.
Yeah, we choose. We don't chase. That's what I love um most. It's a very good mindset to have so that you don't sound desperate. Yeah.
Salesy. You're not trying to sell them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
This is
Ro, I did have one quick question. In the prospecting realm, how often are you sending those one, two, three follow-up? messages to people after the initial no response?
I normally do, because we use spreadsheets, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's important that if you guys are not living and dying by the spreadsheet, you start. Um, I typically do like something similar to um I mean it is no hard fast rule, but like a 3-2-1 kind of thing. So I'll follow up, 3 days after I make contact, and then maybe 2 weeks after they didn't reply back, and maybe 1 month. So you got me 3-2-1,
Yeah.
2 days, 2 weeks, 1 month,
Okay.
and then maybe follow up every 6 months, that kind of thing.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
help?
I was
So
thinking
you
about
keep
that today. If I was on the other end, I'd be like, man, this guy's just annoying. I want nothing to do with this. Just stop talking to me.
Well, yeah, and that's why you kind of think about let's be real. Let's think about the most annoying situation we had when we were teenagers, right? It was someone that wouldn't take no for an answer,
Yeah.
right? So we don't want to be that annoying teenager.
Yeah.
right. But
Okay.
you can always ask them, will it be okay if I follow up with you in a month or
Absolutely.
3 months or 6 months or whatever?
And absolutely, that's exactly what we want to do. That's exactly we want to get their permission up front. Hey, I understand that season right now wasn't your season for this to be something of value. Is it okay for me to follow up?
Mhm.
Very good. All right, guys. All right, goodbye for now. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, man.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
You
thank you.
too. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye,
Yep.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.